Hello students, welcome to KMPS Educates, and we are studying chapter 2, that is from hunting gathering to growing food. So let's finish this chapter in this video. So we have done the second part and now in the third part. So a new way of life. So if you plant a seed, you'll notice it takes some time to grow. Like sometimes it takes a week, sometimes a month, or sometimes even a year. So that's why people had to stay in a particular place for a long time so that they can take care of their seeds, or they can take care of their crops like watering them, weeding them, and driving away the animals which come around the crops to destroy them. So it's a very important part to be stay in a particular place for a long time to ripen the grains. So then the grain has to be used carefully, like if the grain has grown up and they are ripened, so they has to be used very carefully, because grains has to be used for food as well as for seed. So people had to find ways for storing grains, like we need grain for eating purpose also, and for the next year purpose also, like we have to sow seeds again for the next year crop. So we have to preserve those seeds for the next year. So therefore they started making clay pots, or they started making baskets and dig pits in the ground for storing the grains for the next year or next year cropping. So that's all for this a new way of life. Next is storing animals. So animals, like they multiply naturally. Like animals, they give birth to their young ones in a very short time, and uh, with time they naturally multiply and they become very large in number. And next thing is that, by the next benefit is that they provide milk, they provide food and meat also. Like sometimes we store animal, like earlier people used to store animals. So they have various benefits from animals, like milk. They can animals provide them milk, they provide them food, like they can eat animals and they can eat their meat, and they are also used as a store of food. So next is finding out about first farmers and herders, like who were the first farmers and who were the first herders. So in this map you'll notice the places marked with the blue boxes, like you can see Mehergarh, Burzoham, Koldia, Chirand, and in the south, Payampalli, Halur, in the northeast, Daujali heading. So these are the places where archaeologists have found evidence of first farmers and first herders. Like archaeologists have found various evidences of the farmers and herders, and these are found all over the continent. Like these evidences are found everywhere, and most importantly in the northwest, like in the northwest, in the Kashmir region where Burzoham is located, Kashmir, east, and in South India, like east this Daujali and Heding, and in South India Payampalli and Halur. So mostly in these places the evidence of herders and farmers were found. And scientists have also studied the evidence of plants and animal bones here. Like they have also, matlab, they have found various plants and various animals bones, and from that they have analyzed many things. And one of the most important or exciting finds include remains of burnt grains, like in these places Mehergarh and Burzoham, बहुत सारे जो बर्न ग्रेन्स होते हैं, लाइक पीपल जो जो ग्रेन, हम लोग उनमें से ग्रेन तो निकाल लेते हैं, पर जो बाकी जो उस प्लांट का रिमेनिंग पार्ट होता है तो वो सूख जाता है, तो उसको लोग बर्न कर देते हैं, मतलब जला देते हैं. सो आर्कोलॉजिस्ट को बहुत सारे ऐसे एविडेंसेस मिले हैं जिसमें लोगों ने उनके बर्न ग्रेन्स को जला दिया है. एंड फ्रॉम दिस वी कैन गेट टू नो दैट देयर वर वेरियस क्रॉप्स ग्रोन इन द सबकॉन्टिनेंट. लाइक इससे हमें पता चलता है कि पहले जमाने में लोग बहुत बहुत डिफरेंट डिफरेंट टाइप्स के क्रॉप्स लोगों ने उगाए थे, hunter gatherers ne, and they have started their living life in a well developed manner. They started developing themselves. Now come towards the settled life. So Archaeologists have found traces of huts and houses in different sites. And the like in Burjoham, I have shown you earlier in the map, it's in present day, it's in Kashmir. So people used to build pit houses in Burjoham, which were dug into the ground with steps leading to them. Like these houses were made under the ground, and उनके अंदर जाने के लिए एक सीढ़ी लगी होती थी. लाइक ग्राउंड में उन्होंने जैसे एक गड्ढा सा खोद दिया, उसमें वो एक हाउस टाइप का बना लेते थे, और उसमें नीचे जाने के लिए सीढ़ी लगी होती थी. तो वो people have built these types of houses for protecting themselves from cold weather, like from bad weather. They have made these houses so that they can save themselves from the cold weather. And archaeologists have also found cooking huts, as well as and archaeologists have also found cooking huts inside as well as outside the houses, depending upon the weather. Like people used to cook, like from this we can get to know that जो पुराने people होते थे, जैसे कि मतलब वेदर के हिसाब से वो चेंज करते थे. लाइक जैसे ठंड होती थी तो वो लोग अंदर बैठ के खाना बनाते थे, एंड गर्मी होती थी तो वो बाहर बैठ के खाना बनाते थे. तो इस वजह से उनको मतलब कुकिंग हट्स मिले हैं बहुत सारे, जिन पे खाना बनाया जाता है. मिट्टी के होते हैं वो. तो पहले लोग उसमें लकड़ी जला के उस पर खाना बनाते थे. तो वो भी बहुत सारे मिले हैं. इससे हमें पता चलता है कि लोग थोड़ा डेवलप होना शुरू हो गए थे कि कैसे कुकिंग करनी है, किस सीजन में कैसी कुकिंग करनी है. And archaeologists have also found different types of tools. Like these tools were polished stone tools, and they were used for फाइन कटिंग एज. लाइक जो मतलब टूल्स एकदम एक्स जैसे बना दिए थे उन्होंने उन टूल्स को, उस स्टोन्स को, ताकि वो कटिंग के लिए यूज हो सके. एंड द मोटार्स एंड पेस्टल्स वर यूज्ड फॉर ग्राइंडिंग ग्रेन्स. लाइक मोटार्स एंड पेस्टल अभी भी, लाइक इन प्रेजेंट डे वी also use mortars and pestles for grinding grain in some areas, and in that time also it was used. And after that many earthen pots were found. Some were decorated and used for storing purpose. Like earthen pots होते हैं ना, जिनको हम घड़ा बोलते हैं, जिसमें अभी हम लोग पानी भी रखते हैं प्रेजेंट डे पे, घड़े का पानी वो ठंडा रहता है. तो पहले भी लोग यूज करते थे, और वो काफी उसको डेकोरेट करके रखते थे कुछ कुछ लोग, और उनको स्टोरिंग पर्पस के लिए यूज करते थे. लाइक उन्होंने सीड स्टोर कर लिया उसमें, एंड वट एवर दे यूज टू बी stored in that. And next is, people also started weaving clothes using different kinds of material like cotton. They started growing cotton. Like abhi bhi present day mein bhi cotton is used in a very large quantity, or say in a very big big quantity. कॉटन को सब लोग यूज करते हैं. कॉटन क्लोथ्स होते हैं, कॉटन का कितना सारे यूजेस होता है. तो उस टाइम भी लोगों ने कॉटन का यूज शुरू कर दिया था. दे स्टार्टेड ग्रोइंग कॉटन फॉर क्लोथिंग एंड सो ऑन. So, what do you think? Did things change everywhere and all at once? मतलब क्या सारी चीजें एक जगह, सब जगह पे एक ही बार में चेंज हुई थी? लाइक मतलब पूरे वर्ल्ड में ऐसे चेंजेस आए थे, जो हंटर गैदरर्स पूरे वर्ल्ड में रहते थे ना, तो सारे सारे हंटर गैदरर्स एक साथ डेवलप नहीं हुए थे. कुछ कुछ लोग डेवलप हो गए थे. लाइक दे स्टार्टेड कुकिंग फूड, they started grinding grain, but in some parts of the continent they matlab women and men still continued to hunt and gather food, and elsewhere people adopted farming and herding slowly. कुछ कुछ जगह पे हंटर गैदरर्स वैसे ही जैसे वो पहले रहते थे, हंटिंग करते थे और हंटिंग से अपना फूड लेते थे, और कुछ कुछ जगह पे लोग डेवलप हो गए थे. सो इट happens with a span of time. Like everybody haven't developed in the same time, but slowly they started developing themselves. Like कोई आज मतलब किसी ने अभी 2-3 years में कुछ डेवलप हुए हैं, कुछ थोड़े टाइम बाद डेवलप हुए थे, और कुछ और लेट में डेवलप हुए थे. So this is the thing. And these are the new stone tools which were used after like people had started settling their life. So these are the stone tools. These are very well carved, and people started using these tools. Uh, mm, so next is a closer look and living and dying in Mehergarh. So Mehergarh, you can see in the map marked with the red arrow. This is Mehergarh, and presently it's in, you can say it's in Pakistan, or say the site is located in a fertile plain near the Bolan Pass, which is the most common route to Iran. So it must be located in Afghanistan or in or Pakistan, in the border of Pakistan or Afghanistan. So this is the place. Mehergarh was probably one of the places where people learned to grow barley and wheat. Like wheat is the most important crop or food we use today also, like for the chapati purpose. Wheat is used every day in every home. So this is the place where people first started growing barley and wheat and started rearing sheep and goats for the first time in this area. And this is one of the earliest villages that we know about. Like Mehergarh is the very earliest villages which archaeologists or people know about. So at this site, at this village in Mehergarh, many bones and bones of wild animals were found, like bones of wild animals such as the deer and pig, and the bones of sheep and goat were found. Like मेहरगढ़ में बहुत सारे bones मिले थे एनिमल्स के बर्ड्स के और वाइल्ड एनिमल्स के पेट एनिमल्स सब सबके बोन्स मिले थे एंड अदर फाइंड्स लाइक मेहरगढ़ में जो हमें स्क्वायर शेप के हाउसेस भी मिले थे लाइक I'll show in a minute. There were square shaped houses made in the Mehergarh and वो जो हाउसेस होते थे एक एक हाउस में 4 कंपार्टमेंट्स होते थे लाइक वैसे स्क्वायर शेप का हाउस होता था और उसमें 4 कंपार्टमेंट्स बने होते थे सो दिस टाइप के हाउसेस हैं जो मेहरगढ़ में उनके रिमेन्स हमें आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट को मिले थे and sometimes these houses were used for the storing purpose also and in Mehergarh people believe that when people die their relative and friends generally pay respect to them like when somebody die people do pay respect to them and they believe that there is some form of life after their death like in the people in the Mehergarh they used to believe that there is some life after the death and burial is one such arrangement burial you should remember this word burial is an arrangement in which and several burial sites have been found at Mehergarh. Several burial sites has been found in Mehergarh, and there are lots of burial sites. And burial is a thing in which the dead person was buried with goats, which were probably meant to serve as food in the next world. जो बुरियल होता था बुरियल एक अरेंजमेंट है जो मेहरगढ़ में लोग यूज करते थे तो बुरियल एक ऐसा अरेंजमेंट होता था जिसमें जो डेड पर्सन होता था उसकी बॉडी के साथ उसको जब जमीन में दफनाया जाता था उसको बरी करा जाता था तो उसके साथ गोट्स को भी बरी कर देते थे लाइक बकरियों को भी दफनाते थे उनके साथ ताकि मतलब वो ऐसा मानते थे उनका ऐसा बिलीफ था कि जब वो नेक्स्ट लाइफ लेंगे तो जो गोट है वो उनका फूड बनेगी नेक्स्ट लाइफ में so it was believed in Mehergarh and next I'll show the picture. So these are the houses which were used to made in Mehergarh. You can see these houses, each house has 4 compartments and they are used for living as well as for storing purpose. And you can see this is a burial. This is a skeleton of a human and around him there are skeleton of goats which were buried with the dead person. So that's all for this chapter. I hope you have understood this chapter and thank you so much. We'll meet in the next chapter. Thank you.